What's up YouTube, it's your boy McCoy. Today we're playing Rocket League and I'm going to be telling you guys a crazy story. This story includes me, myself and I, the pool I worked at, and this rival pool that we swam against. So a little backstory is, this was a couple years ago. I worked as a lifeguard at my local pool and I did a good job. Like, I was the lifeguard. All of the guests liked me, my boss liked me. And so he kind of left me in charge of the joint sometimes. The joint, what a weird way to say it. He left me in charge. So it was my job to make the schedule for everyone, like make sure people get shit done. And sometimes when it needed to, I did the dirty work. This is a story about the dirty work. So 1 week prior to this incident, we swam against our rival pool in the championships at their pool club. And we happened to win this event, and we celebrated. We had fun. We had like pop-offs, confetti. We had like a speaker. We blasted some music. We kind of like, we poked fun at them, and we kind of, I guess we left a mess because they were mad at us. So this story begins with them. I don't know if it's them, but I'm gonna say it's them dropping off a dead deer in our parking lot. Like, not in our parking lot, like at the front gates of the pool club. Like, absolutely right there, smack dab in the center of our gates, right before you walk into the pool. So I get like I said, I get there pretty early because I'm a good guard, and like I have the first shift of the day at like 8 a.m. Pool doesn't open until 12, so I have a couple hours to get rid of it. But this thing would not budge. When I say doesn't budge, I'm like, this is a probably 150-pound animal. It's been dead for a long time, because the reason we knew it was dead for a long time was because it was rotten. Like, stunk like hell, was completely degraded into like soup. The inside of this animal was definitely like liquid. It was rotten for so long. Maggots all over the place. So it was my job to get rid of it. I was one of the only people there at the club because I opened the place in the morning. So I've no one to help me. I call up my manager. I'm like, dude, there's a dead deer basically in the pool. Not in the pool, but in the pool club. He's like, you gotta get rid of it. We open in like 3 hours. What are you gonna do? And I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to get rid of it, but we live at the bottom of the, not live, but we work at the bottom of this pool. Fuck, not the pool. We work at the bottom of a hill where the pool is. So our driveway is kind of uphill at a good angle. So there's no way I'm dragging this thing uphill weighing 150 pounds. So I call up like I guess, yeah, it was animal control. And I'm like, we have this dead deer on our property. You think you can remove it? And he goes, are you a private organization? I'm like, yeah, we're a private swim club. And he goes, sorry, I can't do it. We can't go into private property. I'm like, what if I allow you to do it? He's like, nope. You gotta get like an ordinance from the town. I'm like, I can't do that. So that was out of the picture. I'm like, thanks for your help. Thanks for nothing. And hung up. My next job was to figure out how to do this, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have like a truck or anything. I have like a Honda Civic. So I'm not putting that in my car and driving it away. So finally, it came up with the idea. I grabbed this dolly. And I'm like, this is gonna work. I grabbed some rope and a tarp. I'm like, I have to get this dead animal onto the tarp, tie it up, and put it on the dolly. So I'm like, oh, I can do this. This is simple. So I go to grab the thing, and as I'm lifting it to try to like hoist it onto the tarp, one of the legs rips off, and I'm just like, I probably ran 50 feet from it with the leg in my hand. It didn't register that I had the thing in my hand as I'm running away from it because I was so freaked out. So I finally drop it. So I got a deer 50 feet away. I've got the deer leg. I'm just like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So finally, I man up, I take the deer leg and I throw it onto the tarp. Maggots go everywhere. Like, it's a scene. It is a scene. Someone pulls up to go swimming, because we allow people to swim early in the mornings to get a workout in. I turn this guy around. I'm like, you have to leave. There's something wrong at the pool. And he's like, oh, do you need any help? I'm like, no, no help needed. You can't see this. Because we don't want this guy to leave our club, because our rival club has kind of been taking some of our members. They've been poaching our people. So we've been losing membership. Our club is financially struggling. So I didn't want them to anyone to see this and be like, oh my god, this place is disgusting. They have dead animals all over the property. So I'm like, you have to go. We'll be open at 12. And he was coming back at 12. There's no doubt about it. This guy was on a mission to swim. So I'm like, okay, and at this time it's probably about 10. So I'm like, I have 2 hours to do this. So I grabbed the dolly. No, I grabbed a shovel. Yeah, I grabbed a shovel, lifted back into the animal, had one hand under it, and wedged the tarp underneath it. After I did that, I kind of do that on the other side. So I've got the deer completely on the tarp, with one leg missing. Maggots, as I said, everywhere. And I know I have to do something about this. So I'd take all the corners of the tarp, wrap them up all together so you have a bindle, a little, not a little, but a big hobo stack with a dead deer in it. And I couldn't lift it. This thing was dead and dead weight. It was perfectly the best way to put it was dead weight. So you can't lift this thing. So I kind of used the shovel technique again, and I'm hoisting it up and wedging the dolly underneath it. But this thing was terrible. It would not budge. So I'm struggling, working out. I'm getting a workout from it. And then it hits me. I'm not gonna throw this deer on the road and let the sanitation people deal with it. I'm bringing this deer back to that swim club. They can't fuck with us like this. This is just un-American. So I take it. I'm holding this deer, and I'm just okay, this is my time. So I call up my friend, who's got this old rusty pickup truck, and I'm like, yo, I need you down here. He's like, I. So I wait probably another 30 minutes for him to get to the pool. And he shows up. I'm just okay, me and you are gonna lift this dead fucking deer into the back of your truck. And he's like, I don't know if we can manage that. That thing looks heavy. I'm like, we have to do it. So we each grab a corner of the tarps, each a side of the tarp, and lift, put it in his truck, and finally we're oh shit, it's 10 a.m. They're open. We can't just dump this thing off in the middle of the day. So we hid it in the woods. We're okay, now's our chance. We waited the entire day, waited till nighttime, waited for them to close at nighttime. And then probably about 1 in the morning, we waited just so this thing would rot even more. And we brought it back to them. So the way this worked out was, he was driving, I was in the back of the truck making sure this deer wasn't sliding anywhere because his tailgate is missing. So I'm in the back of the truck holding on for dear life, holding a rope that's connected to a hitch in the front of the truck, holding on, holding the deer, and I'm just okay, go. So he starts driving, we're avoiding police, so we're taking back roads everywhere where we know police don't go. And finally we make it to their pool club. I've been to this pool, I hate this pool, they hate us. So I take the deer and the deer leg, and I throw it off the back of the truck. We drag it without the tarp, so it left blood and guts everywhere, probably about 10 feet of drag. We dragged it and put it right in front of their front gates. And so we left it there, we go home, and the next day it is back in our driveway. There's no getting rid of this damn thing. So I knew I had to do something about it. So finally, I call the town again. I'm like, we still have this deer. Is there any way you can come down and get it? They're like, no, you have to get it to the street. So I had this whole debacle again of getting it out. I thought my plan in the first time would work, but it didn't. So yeah, my plan of dropping him off back of their pool didn't work. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? I have this really steep hill to get up. And I have a dead deer and a dolly. So I'm like, okay. Called up my manager again. I'm like, hey, this thing's still here. He's like, I thought you got rid of it. And I'm like, yeah, it's back. It's at the other pool. And he's like, oh, it's them? I'm like, yep. And so at this point, he's just like, you gotta get rid of it. And I'm like, that's my plan, man. I'm trying to get rid of it. So he calls me up like probably 40 minutes later. He's like, I have a plan. You gotta get this thing to the street. I'm like, no, duh, genius. That's been my plan. And so after I do that, I get to work. Grab my shovel, wedge it under the deer, kind of messed up in this, and stab the deer. Pull my shovel out. It's all bloody. I'm like, God damn it. So I take it, and what did I do? Oh yeah, I take the shovel, I wash it out, and then I bring it. Short end of the story kinda is that I managed to get the deer onto the dolly, but pushing this thing up the hill was the worst experience of my life because it stunk. It was a windy day, so like the stank was everywhere, and I just wanted to die. I was like, take me now, Lord, take me now. But I'm still here, so the Lord did not take me. The Lord left me here. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to like tie this dolly to the back of my car and drive it up the hill. So I roll it back down the hill to my car in its parking spot, grab a rope, tie it to my hitch, and tie it to the dolly, and I'm slowly driving up the hill. And this motherfucking dead deer rolls off of the dolly and stops in the middle of the fucking driveway. I'm just like, fuck. So I get out of my car, and like, I couldn't keep the dolly still to put the deer on it. So I'm like, fuck me, what am I gonna do? So I decided just to tie the rope to the deer and drag it with my car. Bad idea. You know what happened with the leg? How the leg tore off? The fucking head tore off of this deer. So I'm left with a deer head, a body, with 3 legs, and a missing leg. Because they somehow didn't drop off the one leg with us. So I'm like, fine, that's on them. So, I know I'm gonna have to do something. So, as more body parts come off of this deer, it gets lighter and lighter. So I'm like, okay, I'll just keep pulling off the legs until I can pick this thing up. Take off all the legs. Now I'm stuck with the thing. A deer head, body, and 3 legs separated from the body. It looked like a Saw movie. Like, completely fucked up this animal to a full extent. I'm like, oh god, what am I gonna do? And so I called one of my coworkers who's like my friend. I'm like, you gotta come down here. The deer's back. You gotta come help me. I've tried everything. So he comes down. He's like, oh my god, what have you done? I'm like, I've done everything. He's like, I can tell you've decapitated this fucking deer. I'm like, yeah, because I don't know what else to do. And he's like, why the fuck would you pull its head off? I'm like, I didn't mean to. Chill, dude. So at this point, I know that I have to do something drastic. So we pull up. No, he didn't have the truck. My other friend had the truck. But I pull up with this deer. We put it on the dolly. We both like hold one guy has his hands on the deer, the other guy's pushing. I guess we were both pushing. We managed to get it up the hill. Like, so that the sanitation workers could get it. So we do that. So we get it up the hill, call the town again. We got it up the hill. Can you come get rid of this thing? And they're like, yeah, sure, we got it now. I'm like, honestly, it's 20 feet, not 20 feet, it's 20 yards from where we had the deer and where they could pick up the deer. Deer was so little that I was furious with him. Like, you couldn't have done that before. Couldn't have just picked it up when we were done. So, end of the matter, don't trust your town. Do it yourself and get shit done. It's been your boy McCoy. Subscribe, comment, and like if you like my videos. Peace out.